All right, kitty. I see that you've breached into the bedroom once more and are laying on the Tempur-pedic. But the time is up. So I'll be moving you to the recliner and I'll be making the bed in one snap. All right, kitty. You can curl up here. You got your little fleece blankie. That way you don't get too cold. Just get your little face in there. It's a good kitty. All right. You sure are a good kitty. Do you like that? Just like an old Western. Woo! All right, 73 degrees Fahrenheit. Not bad. We're at 207,115 miles on the odometer. It is January 29th of 2024. And I was on my YouTube channel and I found an old Linda and Cole song, Motion Light, which was done 2 years ago. Didn't get a lot of views, but I think it's actually a pretty good song. Like something I might return back to and add some stuff to it. We now have a recorder, which, you know, it's kind of like a pan flute, you know. We have one of those that Linda likes to play, and then she plays a shaker on the Motion Light. It's pretty good. And then I laid down some new chords, so that means a new song is starting to kind of sprout. So we'll have to see when that one comes about. Been listening to a lot of Joy Division. The first album, which is really good, Unknown Pleasures. And then, well, not their official first album, but their official breakout album, I guess you could say, their well-known album. And then the third album, of course, is Closer. And then I guess they had a fourth album, because I listened to Closer and I didn't hear Love Will Tear Us Apart and the other great hits too, Atmosphere, things like that. So I got to figure out which album that is, if that's like an album that was released posthumously, or is it posthumously? And I'll switch it over. Yep, that's me. I'm the one that's talking. Hi, I'm Cole. Welcome to the Please Subscribe show. It's the Cole Spivey channel. And we're headed off. Headed off to delivery. Probably going through some stock show. There's some big time stock show stuff going on in Fort Worth. So there's a lot of activity. And then the Midway Carnival, or as they call it, the Carnival Midway, right over by the Museum District. And I found some things about Louis Kahn, who started off the Kimball Art Museum. When he was 3 years old, he found interest in everything. So he went over to some hot coals and he picked them up and he put the hot coals in his apron. I guess the little kid had an apron, caught fire and burned his face. So he was a little bit disfigured, but he was very famous, a well-known architect. But he had burned himself when he was a kid. And he got better, of course, you know, and he was able to become one of the greatest architects of our time. He really was one of the greatest architects of all time. Louis Isidore Kahn is his name. He's the one that designed the Kimball Art Museum, I believe in 1973, maybe. I'll have to double check on that one. So I'm gonna go back on that. Louis Isidore Kahn, he designed the Kimball Art Museum. It went into effect 1972. So I did find that off by 1 year. Got close though. 1972 is when it was officially established. We got that corrected. So I just found out that Joy Division only has 2 albums that are studio albums. Unknown Pleasures and Closer. Unknown Pleasures was released in 1979 and Closer in 1980. I just turned on Joy Division's song, I Remember Nothing. So I thought it was kind of appropriate at times. Here we go. Now we're rolling. Going right into the stock show stuff. See what happens. Right into park, so it'll say show. I didn't read it all in the digital. All right, so on the other side of Carnival, of Casa, is Carnival, I guess, Midway. That's Casa. That's what they're calling it online, at least. Concert parking is also what they use right here. I don't know if there's a concert on, but it's $17 for parking. I don't know how much it is to get into the fair, though. All right, first delivery 6:02, 3 minutes, 0.9 mile. All right, so we're gonna go ahead and zero that out for today, and hopefully see what we have by today or tomorrow. All right, this one's a non-address drop, so they're gonna have to get guided in. We know kind of their whereabouts of where they're at. I can tell you they're from Texas. They're from out of town, far, far west, and they've come to the stock show to try out some pizza, which we're going into the stock show rodeo area, and to our right is the Carnival Midway. Right next to Casa, the House of Tomorrow. And those are actual people on the swings, way up in the air. Life is not worth it if your life is not at risk. Well, it looks like a stock show handler all the way from West Texas came in to show some cattle. This is how full it gets during the stock show season. The whole parking lot is full of trailers and cattle. This is where it shows the stock show $17 for the parking. So it's not real cheap, but not too bad. They keep that under, they kept it under $20, which is not too bad. $17 is, yeah, I would say $17 is decent. There's some places in certain events where it can be up to $50 for parking. And if it's AT&T Stadium, it's like maybe $100 to $70 for parking. So $17 is fairly cheap. Back in the day, it would have been $5. But now it's gotten a little more expensive because of inflation. But 17 is still pretty good. It's not too bad. They could have gone higher than that. That's what most of the signs say if you're trying to park. They're way out West Texas, so they were just getting some pizza. And they're all the way from California, following all the traffic laws. All right, next delivery going to the same area, 7:07, 3 minutes, 0.8 mile. All right, so we've got to go into where the stock show action is, and Carnival Midway will be on the right, which is pretty active because the weather's only at 64 degrees Fahrenheit in Fort Worth, Texas. And there it is. Looks like another one. They're all the way from New Braunfels, showing off cattle. There's all the trailers right there. Yeah, they got all kinds of people right down there. Look, they're basically just bringing their cattle, and horses all over Texas, and they love Italian food, especially pizza. We're right on Fox Street right there. Don't know if this will lead in. Oop, got some joggers, and they're probably not real interested in the livestock, but they could be. They're kind of like livestock themselves. There we go. Yep, I think you can go through here this way. We'll certainly find out. All right, there's all the trailers that you can see for the stock show. They're from all over, a lot of them West Texas. New Braunfels, I'll have to look on a map to find out exactly, but I think I've been over there. He said New Braunfels was by something. I just jars my mind right now. But New Braunfels is actually Texas, so that's where he brought the cattle from. So they're all over the place coming in to the stock show to eat food and show off their cattle, and sometimes at the same time. There's another angle of all the trailers, and that's only trailer parking only. So you try to park there, they'll flag you. They'll give you the flag, and there's the mural right here. And there's the fair. We're good to go. There's the Ferris wheel. Probably in operation mode. Just completely stuck. Next delivery is 8:37, 1 minute, 0.2 mile. All right, next delivery is 8:51, 1 minute, 0.5 miles. In the depths of the ocean where a boat sank looking for you. There's the 4 horses. Monticello. Monticello. Yeah, like a little Italian meal there. You gotta do what you can, you know. It's nice to have food just handed to you. Although whenever I worked for a few of the gig economy apps like Favor and Uber Eats and all that stuff, I always kind of wondered if they wanted me to kind of take the food out and feed it to them, which I never had to do. But on some grocery runs before COVID with DoorDash, we did have to bring it into their kitchens. We didn't have to stock it in their cupboard, but we had to. Then when COVID came, they said no more of that. Out of the depths of the ocean where a boat sank looking for you. Next delivery's 9:21, 6 minutes, 2 miles. Can you hear the lambs? I Remember Nothing is probably a pretty good Joy Division song out of really a lot of them. It's very creative. They do a lot with the vocals. It's kind of slow paced. It's a very interesting song. I Remember Nothing. It's a Joy Division song. It's great. Ian Curtis's masterpiece. Check it out. There's the Montgomery building right there. You can see the titling right there. So it flooded in 1949 to the second floor from the Trinity River. So Fort Worth has a memorial right here. That's to the firefighters and the police. I think it's dedicated more to like 9/11, September 11th. They have a few of them up there, right around Shakespeare in the Park. These are the purple lights illuminating the West 7th Bridge, which are passing the Trinity River. Here. Shot a little short film here where the love locks are. Right about there. Short film called The Way of Man. It's kind of about how it's kind of like a fallen black sheep member of the church that can't make ends meet, so he doesn't feel worthy. And a member of the church, kind of like a pastor named Pastor Rec. Yeah, he's a pastor. He comes and helps him, kind of coaches him off the bridge. Loosely based on the play Love, which is L-U-V. But I can't recall the playwright's name, but it's a great little play. And then, of course, we did it over, I think it was a one-day shoot. All right, guys, we're headed to the tower. So I think it's the tower, I'm pretty sure, or it's something of that nature. And we're going to drop off, I believe, on the 24th floor, so that'd be the tower. There's the Barnett Plaza building right here. Got some photos of that in high school, black and white stills. I developed the film myself by hand. A friend of mine mixed the solution, and I was able to he gave me the ingredients on how to mix a solution on film stock or just regular film. It was just 35mm film. Still photo. I did that on the Barnett Plaza back in the day. Be approaching the tower here pretty soon, which is actually it would make a pretty good film location or filming location. There is I believe that's a Methodist church. It looks Catholic, but it's actually Protestant. Very interesting, that church. Yeah, this would be the tower, which is right here. Which, if I ever get to make my film that I wrote in high school called The Chosen, about Peter Miller's life and the secret organization that pulls him off the street to have him dump these dead bodies from the trunk of these cars, and also there's these dead bodies in like broom closets and stuff, and he dumps it through an empty doorway into like this kind of pit, and it has like this light coming up from the pit and all this stuff, and he has this broken pocket watch, which is another title for The Chosen One. Sorry, it was called The Chosen One. And Peter Miller's the protagonist, and he has a broken pocket watch, and time kind of, it feels like time has grown still. And it's a very strange little screenplay. It was one of my first screenplays that I based on like kind of like a dream kind of thing. Here we are. We're at the tower. Yeah, that'd be the tower. There we go. I could kind of see it through the camera better than I could look up. All right, move right into here. And that way I remember. It's 555 Taylor. My ears kind of popped. I do feel kind of distant. Yeah, I asked the lady on like how it feels to live 24 And she said, I love it. She has this little tiny dog that looks like Toto. And I'm like, that dog looks ferocious. There's a screenplay where I wrote where the character writes easy in the air. And that's all. Yeah, cool building. I wonder if Abraham Zapruder was alive. If he'd vlog, he probably would have vlogged everything. He probably would have been that type. He probably would have made a living with it. He was a very serious hobbyist when it comes to, you know, filming things with his little, I'm gonna say 8mm. I really don't know if it was 16 or 8mm. I'm just guessing, but he got it was a home video that shocked the world. It was a home video that changed the way we looked at film and media, and he was only, you know, doing it as a hobby, and it changed his life. Of course, the government had to press down and get involved and take over the footage, which I thought was kind of mean of what they did, because that footage belonged to him. It would made him a priceless amount of money. He would have been probably one of the richest guys in Dallas, and they pretty much just took it from him for free. And it's also a priceless piece of footage. You can't buy that kind of footage. And he was not a serious filmmaker. He was only doing it as a hobby. Well, I guess, you know, in a way, I guess he was a serious filmmaker. I mean, he is now. And there's TCC, Tarrant County College. Certainly has changed. When I was younger, it was called Taco Jocko, as in TCJC. It was a junior college, and they moved it up to a university. So, I thought that's kind of cool. A friend of mine worked there as a professor. So I'm like going through and listening to Shadow play Joy Division, and man, it would really amp up, you know, my vlog and probably get quite a bit of attention. Fortunately, the studios can't allow that to happen. You know, me sucking up all their money and stuff so they can make their $80 million pictures. So they have to watch over those things. So what they'll do is they'll just block the content because they know everybody would watch it, you know. But that's what I'm listening to. Alright, it's where my old apartments used to be, but Louis Kahn, well, he wasn't behind it. It was actually Japanese, Tuxedo, and but Louis Kahn was behind the Kimball, or the architect. Anyway, that's another night of delivery. So we're headed back to see Linda and Kitty.
Say hi.
Where is he?
Right there.
Oh.
Yeah.
Where are you going?